Most people spend more time planning a 2-week holiday than they do planning the 30 plus years they'll spend in retirement. And then one day, they wake up at 67, still working, wondering why they've left it all so late. I've been helping people retire for years, and I keep hearing the same regrets over and over. They waited too long, they played it too safe. They never had anything more than a generic plan which never really fit their life. But retirement isn't just a number to hit. It's how you spend your time, what you get to do, and who you get to do it with. If you want to stop working sooner with enough money to enjoy it properly, you need a clear plan that's built around you, not some one-size-fits-all online calculator. So in this video, I'll show you how to think about a proper retirement plan you can actually follow, and how to shape your money around the way you actually want to live. A few years back, I was sat in a big posh boardroom at the top of a tall building in the city, waiting to meet some new potential clients. I didn't know much about what they wanted to talk about. I'd just been told they wanted to speak to someone about their pensions. I sat there with a glass of tepid water in front of me, wondering why I wasn't good enough for a nice coffee. Looking out over the picturesque skyline, watching hundreds of people rushing around the city floor like ants at work. And right then, they walked in. A successful couple with big job titles, nice shoes, and a fistful of paperwork. They'd rushed in from a meeting, bowling open the doors with a clatter, already running behind for the day, even though it was only mid-morning. When I introduced myself and held out my hand, I noticed that their faces and shoulders carried the weight of the world. They sat down and immediately started talking about their pensions, what they were putting into them and how they were invested, and to be honest with you, I didn't get to say much at all for about 10 minutes. Then it happened. There was a pause. They'd said everything they wanted me to know. I let the silence sit for a moment, probably a moment longer than you would normally, as even I noticed the sound of the aircon machine whirring in the corner. I then asked them one simple question. What do you want your life to look like when you're in your 60s? I noticed how this stopped them in their tracks. It was clear they'd never given this any real thought. They looked at each other and said, "No one's ever asked us that before." That meeting went on to last nearly 2 hours. And we didn't talk any more about their pensions at all. We talked about what they wanted their life to look like. Right now, in the early years of retirement, in their later years, where they'd be living, what trips they'd have taken, how they would hope to have grandchildren and be sat looking over the sea from their holiday home. And all of a sudden, the beginnings of a plan was born. Maybe they didn't have to continue at this pace. Maybe life doesn't end when you retire. It begins. So if, like this couple, you're ready to start thinking about the next chapter, where do you start to begin to get your head around it all? Look at this. If you go onto the gov.uk website, they have a section titled Plan Your Retirement Income, and it points you here to the Money Helper pension calculator. It boasts to be able to, in just a couple of minutes, get you a forecast of the likely pension income you'll get when you retire. Your forecast will include income from defined benefit and defined contribution pensions and your state pension, and a target retirement income to aim for, taking into account your salary. All this in just a couple of minutes. Sounds great, so let's do it. Let's say I was born on the 1st of January 1970, so I'm 55 now. Look good, don't I? I'm male and I want to retire when I'm 60 in 5 years' time. I'm going to say my gross salary is 60,000, and because apparently people in the same salary range as me say they would like to have 50% of their current salary in retirement, that's what's suggested for me. £30,000 a year is my target retirement income. Just as a side note here, here's the different assumptions across different earnings bands. Look, with lower earners requiring more as a percentage of their income in retirement. They also point out that the reason most people's spending goes down in retirement is because they've paid off their mortgage, no longer pay for work travel costs, and no longer need to make pension contributions. Now we need to tell it about our pension pots. So let's say we've got a nice lump of cash so we can see what the tool can really do. Let's say £500,000. And let's say we've still got 6% going in from us and 4% from our employer for our remaining 5 years at work. So we're still building the pot for a little longer. Now, it asks me how much of my lump sum I want to take, which is problematic for a lot of reasons. But I'm going to say I don't want any because I'm going to use the full pot, including the tax-free element, to provide me with an income stream so I can be super tax efficient in retirement. I'm going to say I have no other income, no DB schemes, no property rental, etc. And assuming, as it is here, that I'm getting my full state pension when I'm 67, Here's my results. I have a shortfall when I retire in the early years, and then I'm all right once I get to 67 when my state pension kicks in. In fact, I actually run a surplus from this point, which is a bit of an odd thing to say. Go short in the early years and then have more than I need later on. This is actually in direct conflict with how I think we should actually spend our money. More on that in a minute. So what's going on here? Well, investment growth is set at 5% before fees, which are 0.75% a year, and inflation is 2.5% a year. But what's most interesting to me is all this math is based on me buying an annuity, handing over the entirety of my pension pot in exchange for a guaranteed income for life, rather than the alternative of drawing down more flexibly as I see fit. And what's more is that it's a level income, i.e. it doesn't rise with inflation, so over time its purchasing power gets eroded away. It actually states on the site, this income stays the same throughout retirement, which means it buys less over time if prices rise. If prices rise over a 30-year retirement. Now, I know this is full of assumptions, but I think it's safe to assume that prices will rise over this time period. This also makes my decision to not take the tax-free lump sum look foolish, as I've now lost that tax-free benefit because I've converted the whole pot into a taxable income stream. There's no option with this tool to look at more flexible drawdown style options, although there are these rather handy sliding bars where you can now mess with the different parameters to see how the figures change. Look what happens if I say I want my expenditure to be £40,000, not £30,000. Looks pretty bleak. So what do we think? Does this kind of tool give you enough information to make any retirement decisions on? Or is it even a good start? I remain unconvinced. Let me ask you a question. Do you spend your money in the same way, on the same things, as you did 10 years ago? What about 20 years ago? No, me neither. I've swapped guitars and slim fit shirts for Hot Wheels and, well, let's just say, more classic fitting shirts. Retirement is no different, and yet most retirement projections and calculators seem to completely ignore this fact. Your retirement is not one long flat stretch of time with the same spending, the same lifestyle and the same pace throughout. So we like to talk to our clients about the 3 stages of retirement, or the retirement seasons as I like to call them, which are the go-go years, the go-slow years and the no-go years. Each stage has different needs, costs and priorities. The go-go years are when you're at your most active, you're healthy, you're travelling, you're trying new things. Then the go-slow years come. You're still independent, but life starts to slow down a bit and so does your spending. And then finally, the no-go years where your overall lifestyle spending is at its lowest, but healthcare and medical issues may begin to become a focus. I'd recommend building your retirement plan around these phases, or at least a version of them. Don't aim for one fixed number. Model your spending and lifestyle expectations around how you want life to actually play out. Before we move on, I've put together a quick checklist you can download. It's called Retirement Questions You Must Answer to Retire Happy. These are the exact questions we use with our clients to help them retire with clarity. So if you want to retire earlier, richer and happier, grab the checklist using the link below. Someone said to me the other day, what's the point in a financial plan? A bunch of unknown projections miles into the future that will in no way resemble what will happen. What a waste of time. This is a highly intelligent person, a really talented business owner, in fact. When I asked them what they hoped their business would achieve over the next 5 to 10 years, they told me loads about what they hope to do. Streamline production processes, expand into another 3 countries, and grow their customer success team to free up more time for the sales arm to come up with new innovative ideas and so on. A plan. He told me his plan. These are thought-through targets, things he hopes to achieve, looking ahead into the unknowns with educated guesswork from a place of knowledge. The truth is, he knows, and I know, that having this articulated and written down means it's far more likely to happen than if it wasn't. A financial plan is no different, so please start thinking about what you want your life to look like and think about how your finances need to look to give you the best chance of making this happen. But where do you begin? It all starts with how you want to spend your time. What do your ideal weeks look like? What will you be doing more of or less of? Most people skip this step entirely, and that's why their retirement ends up being either underfunded or underwhelming. Start by mapping out how you'd actually want to live. Think about experiences, time with family, personal goals, big one-off expenses. Then build your financial plan to support that, not the other way around. Be brave enough to use your go-go years to your advantage. Otherwise, you risk looking back with a list of regrets instead of memories. Front-load your retirement plan. Build in higher spending in the earlier years when your energy, health, and curiosity are at their peak. But don't make the mistake of thinking this is a one-off task. Your life will change. So will interest rates, tax rules, market returns, personal circumstances. If your plan doesn't evolve with you, it won't protect you when it matters most. Review your plan regularly. Update your spending assumptions, model different scenarios, and revisit your goals as your lifestyle shifts. Don't leave it all on a spreadsheet from 5 years ago. Now, if you're serious about retiring early and you want clarity on whether you're actually on track, then it's worth having a proper conversation. Like with the two busy professionals I mentioned earlier, a solid retirement plan all starts with the right questions. Click the link below to book your call. Now, hopefully you can see how a proper plan gives you freedom, clarity, and confidence, but there's still one big risk most people overlook. And by the time they spot it, it's already done the damage. So if you're approaching retirement and want to protect yourself before it's too late, watch this video next. It's probably one of the most important videos I've made.